Looks like ship just got into position.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, your tail's on the rock, which is okay. So now your front's going down. Looks pretty good.
We'll thrust down and we'll twist.
Have you collected any rocks yet?
Okay.
No. Are
How
you
come?
kidding? Because they're all glued together with manganese oxide.
Okay.
You
Don't
couldn't
you
get
want
them.
one of those
How's that?
stalks?
You couldn't
Don't
pry
you
them off if you
don't
had a lever
don't you want one
longer
of
than the.
Don't you want one of those stalks?
Twist a little
mean
bit
one of
more.
these
That's
stalks?
good.
No.
Sure.
No, one of
would
the
you
dead
like,
ones.
You would like me to contribute a rock coral to your collection?
Yeah, twist
Yes,
it.
I'll be
rock
happy
sponge.
to do that.
Oh, a little fast, sorry.
Yeah, but this is
Perfect.
a coral.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, I wasn't talking about the live ones. I was talking about the dead ones.
Oh, I see. You mean those little
Very
fossil
pretty.
stalks? Yeah, let's get some. I bet those would be real
Can
easy
we look
to
at
get
the
off.
base of this one? Can you get us down to the base
just
of
hold
this?
here if you tilt down.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Well, this joystick is a lot more touchy than the others are. Or is it the rotator moves faster on?
Just so zoomed in.
It's yeah, partly the zoom too.
Okay.
They're all a little bit odd.
I'm going to rotate
Yeah,
it
see
just a
the
bit.
node.
There it is.
All right.
I'll rotate us a little bit more.
Roger.
And then if you can show us a
Okay.
close-up of the base, that would be most excellent.
Smack zoom.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
thank you,
You're
thank
on
you,
video.
pilot. Thank you,
Nice.
video.
Okay, is there anything else here? There was a third object back there. There it is, upper right of the screen.
No, that's a stalked sponge. I think that's
no
something
interest in?
Nope.
Okay.
I think we're good.
All right, so I'm looking down 72 degrees.
Okay. So I need
Oh,
to
Debbie
come around
Blaney's
and push out a
back.
bit.
So this this one that we just looked at,
got
this whip coral that we just looked at, it's bamboo.
Boulders there.
Scott France remarked that the polyps are more dense than
Are
they
we in
were
a
on
move
the
or not?
previous
I think
whip.
I'm still moving
So
slowly,
does
but I
that
should
mean
stop
this is
very
one
soon.
of your? Oh,
So
okay.
we've got time.
Two different
Okay.
species there.
Maybe
Wonderful.
stop for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, we can wait till you get out to about my camera at 45 degrees and then
Okay.
do the next one.
Wonder if we could take a quick peek at this dead sponge. This looks like another Lefroyella, and I just wanted to see if
Want to stop there and
it
look at
has
this thing?
anemones in it or not. But if we can't, we can't. It's no big deal.
I think we've
gonna-
got time, right?
We're gonna
Yeah,
try.
I'm pretty much stopped here.
Alright.
So now that you've
So,
got
yeah, now-
rocks in front of the drawer, just make
yeah.
sure not to sit down on it itself.
Oh. Sorry?
Yeah, there are a lot of patches of boulders here, and pretty thick sediment in between them that has a lot of ripple
You can
marks.
probably
on it.
work yourself up close and just sit down right next to it.
This is like a little shelf of
It does,
boulders,
yeah,
but
it
it
sure
also
does, yeah.
looks as if there may be some layering or was
Yeah,
some layering
I'm seeing
within.
that up in the.
Well,
Over
right,
to the-
right at the
over to
bottom
the-
of the screen too,
Yeah.
you can see a distinctive layering as we move back in on this thing.
I think what Chris wanted to see was whether or not
It's a
there.
dead sponge.
Well, yeah, it's a dead
Okay.
sponge, and if there were some of the holes in there, like there were for the other zoanthids that live lived in there. I think that's what it was. Is that right, Chris?
So we don't see these dead like this very often at all or ever. I think these are the first ones, and I'm just curious, since they have this commensal arrangement going on with either a zoanthid or an enemy, it's not really clear what it is. When the sponge dies, can we automatically assume that the anemone dies too? And then we can look for the houses, the little anemone houses or the little holes in the sponge to actually show that the anemone used to be there with the sponge.
You might need a little forward and a little less
Yeah.
down to kind of hold you there.
Okay. Afraid of putting too much on the platform there. So when I put down thrust, then my tail goes down.
Yeah, definitely.
So let me just try this. All right, you want to zoom in and see what we got?
Sure.
All right, tilt down. Oops.
Coming wide.
Sorry, guys.
You'll get it. If you just do
No
hold
worries.
the down
Yeah.
on just gently. And then I can do your camera if you want.
Let me try it
Got
here.
it? Okay. Got it.
Zooming.
Oops. So what do you think of this, Shirley?
I'm not seeing those little holes in this one. I don't know.
That is really
Pretty
strange.
crinoid, yeah.
Yep.
Clear.
And
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a Lefroyella, but I'm not seeing the little houses either. But this has got a lot of sedimentation in it too, so maybe when these sponges die, they kind of become so overgrown and sedimented that the anemones die too with it.
the stalk of this looks like it has a groove in it facing to the left. Is that typical? As you know, the whole bell of the upper part of
I'm
it
not really
is
sure.
pointed that same direction.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah.
That's good, pilot.
Okay, roger that.
So I'm pretty much stopped now.
Okay.
If you want to
Yeah,
work
we're
to
only,
center and ahead.
Was it now 6 meters away from the top of this slope? And do we want to change direction and go along the slope and look for things?
Chris, what do you think?
She was very faint there. I didn't quite hear the suggestion.
Wondering if you want, we're about, what is it now? 6 meters from the
The
elevation
target depth, yeah, the target
that
depth.
we think is the top of the slope. And I wondered if you wanted to go along the edge of the top of this this wall, then what direction would you prefer?
How much time do we have remaining in the dive?
A little over an hour and a half.
And how far are we from our end point?
Stand by.
170 meters. 170, yeah.
170 meters.
So why don't we keep pushing in toward the end point? The reason being is we normally don't do this, and just because people like edges, I love edges and ridges too. So it's hurting me to go over some of these flats where there's not as many animals, but it is very important for the the mining priority that we have. So I would just soon keep going into the interior a bit.
Roger that. We're doing that.
I have a question for you then, Chris, regarding this particular place on the seamount, which we're now thinking maybe was so much more abundant at some point in the past, with many of these manganese encrusted stalks that we're seeing all over the rocks. Do you think that this is typical in general of the slopes of the seamount, or do you think it might be related to dynamic displacement, down dropping of this northern half of the plateau of the seamount, and that, you know, do you think there might be more of these living specimens in other parts of the wall?
Yeah, you know, Patty, I have no idea. I think there are so many dead stalks and so many dead stumps, probably more than I've ever seen on any location, that it seems to me that something could have happened here, like when this part of the seamount slipped. Alternately, as you pointed out, there's a cone or two on the top of the seamount that's close to this area, and maybe there was some volcanic activity that expelled something toxic to the animal.
Ready for ship move. 30 meters,
Yeah,
bearing
there's a
310
thought,
degrees,
Chris.
decimal 2
I
knots.
hadn't thought of that.
Read that back. 30 meters bearing 310.2. Stand by.
Okay, is this the thing right in the middle you wanted to
Yes.
look at?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me come up a little bit here.
One thing that's clear is that at some point in the past, I think there was quite a decent community of sponges and probably corals on this area of the seamount. I just can't imagine this many stumps, and we're just seeing just a sequence of life and death over a very large period of time here. I'm not so sure that's what we're seeing, because we're not seeing very many of the live sponges. We're just seeing 95% dead stalks and dead stumps, and then an occasional live one. That just doesn't seem the right ratio to me if it was just looking at, again, the cycles of life and death at this place.
You've got your center on a rock, but pretty. If you can just keep your heading,
These sponges
should
were
work pretty
very,
well.
very different ones from the ones that we're seeing right now. I mean, they were, I would imagine, hexactinellid sponges, but they're very different from the ones that we've seen.
Let me see if I can spin.
Yeah, a little while ago
So I
we
usually
passed
find
over
once I
a
spin
dead
over, I
stalk,
can't take my hand off the
and it
joystick.
looked like a tree trunk on the bottom. I mean, it was absolutely massive.
Goes back,
Yeah.
So I was
so
happened to be
so
talking
that's why
exactly
you,
when we went
transferred
over
it.
there.
Yeah,
but I noticed it.
Try
And,
to take the camera then.
that must have been some impressive colony when it was
everything's
alive.
rounded and smooth.
Chris,
you can't just lock
you
it
know,
in.
I think
There you
that very likely some of these thicker diameter stalks we're seeing are so encrusted with manganese that they
looks
look
like you got it
much
anyway, but-
look like they have a much larger diameter than they might have when they were alive.
Yeah, good point, Patty. Certainly, they
Down
just could
below
be
it or at the
the
base
much
of the shrub?
older ones.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
You want your camera back?
Yeah,
Or-
go ahead. Let me see.
There you
Now
go.
it looks like
Yeah, you got
stable.
stable there.
Video zoom in, please.
Yeah, they're
Oh, I see
it's
it.
right at 12 o'clock.
Top of the
12
screen.
Just off of the screen now.
Okay,
off of the
roger
screen. You need
that.
to go
Off
up.
the screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I see.
Okay.
I see
So
what you're
right.
looking at.
Yeah.
Yep,
Right in the
right
center now.
screen
Yeah.
now. Okay.
Yeah. Just take a quick look at that.
I see what you mean.
RV nav, Bridge.
Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, once we finish this position move, I may bring our head around
Thinking
to
it's-
port. Looks like
I don't
the
know,
wind
that looks
shifted
like
a
it's
little
up.
bit, and,
Well, first I
Let
thought
me
it was a
tip down
carnivorous
just a little
sponge, but
bit
now
more.
I'm thinking it's a
I'm probably going to ask
tube.
for about a
Sorry.
No worries.
15,
There we go.
20-degree turn to port.
Okay,
I'm
sounds
not
good.
sure.
Yeah, so you
I
know.
think your first impulse
was a carnivorous
right. It
sponge.
looks like
Yeah.
overgrown. Yeah, it looks like a cladorhiza that's overgrown.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay, let me just hold this for a couple seconds.
Good.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
good to go.
Just a quick comment. If you look on the left half of the screen, you see manganese coating on these rocks impinging on one another in very linear fashion, like you see a series
Yeah,
of 3 lines on the upper block, and then where the 2 boulders beneath it have their manganese have overgrown one another again. It's just everything is growing
Okay, roger
toward
that.
one
Copy.
another
Gonna
at a
move on.
relatively similar rate. That's what we would see in recrystallized mineralogy in a rock.
Does the next watch start now or?
2:30, I think. Yeah.
So we have 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so look at that.
Yeah, there's a lot of rock that used to be there. Still there, but it's under a lot of manganese. Cannot tell what it is. I don't see layering right here, though.
How long has the shipment stopped now?
A lot of this looks like it has
Just
fallen off
almost-
an outcrop,
almost,
and then everything's
almost
been
there.
covered
Okay,
over.
hasn't stopped yet.
Correct.
Okay.
Gotcha. So I should start moving soon.
Sponge
There's
right in
another one
front
of
of
the
us.
sponges.
Yeah.
Just move
I
and
think
start at
probably
56.
Walteria.
Oh, the
Look
straight
at this one or
sort
no?
of the
Yeah,
spine.
quick snap zoom.
Okay. Come in a little bit closer. Co-pilot, you want to take the camera?
Sure. Okay, tilting down.
Okay, video looks like I'm stable.
Roger. I'll hold the establishing first.
Yep, another one
Okay.
of these Walterias.
Is it better
For
for
the
me to try and center it up,
fuzzy
or
s-
just
fuzzy
you like it
spicules.
off center?
Okay.
For something like this, I'll probably zoom. So if you can center it up, then I'll
That
zoom
helps.
on the top.
Okay.
Perfect.
Oops.
Beautiful. All right, so I'll go ahead and zoom. And if we could tilt up to the top.
Okay.
It's cool. You get a really good,
Beautiful.
very
What
good
is
look
that
at those.
inside it?
That's a very
I
good question.
do not know.
Wow. Christmas tree sponge.
It is like a Christmas tree sponge.
Just have a
Well, I'll
little
be
sea star
darned
on
if
top.
I'll tell you what. I'll be darned if I don't see. So out of each one of those little knobs on the spicules, are those just rings of like radiating spicules that are sticking out?
Any more zoom? That's nice.
I have to tell you, Shirley, I don't really understand this. I don't get this one either. I guess that's what it is. They certainly seem a little flexible there. Which
I
bothers the
know.
heck out of
Yeah,
me.
I
It
know.
is
That's
very-
why before when we were looking at it, I was wondering if there were just there was something else that had tentacles that was attached to those. I don't
Yeah, I'm
know.
wondering the same thing, actually.
Huh.
All right, you want your camera back?
Sure.
So,
Thank you.
So I've started
Okay.
to move.
Moving on.
Yep, I've got some time, but my camera's at
Okay.
70.
Watch leads, you done here?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
That was the last watch they did that, and it hasn't seemed to cause any harm. Yeah, I guess since they're still forward, they're up. Yeah.
It's another one of those sponges just going under the screen.
Oh, look at all the stalks on the left.
I know.
Wow. Boy, if all these knobs that we're seeing on top of these rounded boulders are an indication of previously existing things.
Don, let's look at that one on the left if you're not going too fast. Yep. It's kind of a bent over, not the one all the way in the back. You're coming right up on it right now. On the far right, it's about 330.
Center screen now?
It's kind of a bent over stalk. Looks like a Chrysogorgia.
Just downslope?
Yes,
there?
yeah.
Okay.
You're coming over top of it now.
Is that the one that's right at the bottom of the screen? And
Right, it's like
invisible?
right down at the bottom of the screen now.
Okay. I think I'm too close to it at the moment.
That'll work.
Close is good.
Close
For
is
lighting
good,
and all, yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can sit here. Okay, looks like I'm stable. Okay, video, you want to zoom in?
Marvelous.
Down a little bit more. How's that?
Perfect.
Okay.
I'll hold this for a minute.
It's another one of these corals called Chrysogorgia golden coral.
Oh, and they are pretty.
They are very pretty.
They're so delicate.
They
Tilt
are.
up just a tiny bit.
I'm going to ask Chris eventually how they turn something as delicate as this
Perfect.
into jewelry. Do they grind they grind it up and recast it? Yeah.
Chris, tell us how they make jewelry out of golden coral.
And black coral.
And black coral I've seen. Actually, I've seen how they make jewelry out of that, depending on how big the branches
Tip
are.
up a bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you were talking about this in reference to what we're looking at now.
Well, we know that this one
Gorgia,
is,
is that correct?
yeah, well, we're talking about
In
precious
general.
coral in general, and some of the ones where it's not obvious how you would make coral out of the...
You mean jewelry out of...
Sorry, make
Yeah.
jewelry
That's
out
okay.
of the coral because they're so, the stalks are so fine.
Yeah, so typically the corals that they're making jewelry out of, they'll have thick enough stems. So, a typical piece of jewelry you probably have at most, a centimeter of diameter that you'd need to make rings or earrings or something like this. So as long as the stem on it is that size, then you can cut sort of slices up along the stem, and then you do typical lapidary jewelry making where you mount that onto a stem, a wooden stick, and you have your grinding wheels.
They're right on there.
And this is the old day. That's how I learned some stuff, because my
So
father
what
had
do,
one of
try
these
to put
setups
those
in our
lasers
basement
up
of our
in the-
house, and then you just grind it
since
down
they're at
and
the
you're
end of the clip
polishing
now, they
wheels and
become
so forth
part of
Oh,
the
I
clip.
see.
to make
But you want them
the
down on the
jewelry.
rock or on
I mean, ideally they're on the
If
animal.
it's a
yeah,
really
but
small
at
branch,
least
sometimes
if
they
they're on the rock
polish
here,
up
that
the
people
small
can say
branches and
that's
leave it
about the
sort of
same
au
plane,
natural
it's
as
about
kind of an
30
interesting
centimeters.
earring that they attach the actual piece of a red coral branch to some type of a gold clasp or something to make
Right,
the
I think I've been
earrings out
stopped
of.
for a while. Should we do another move?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been
Watch
stopped
lead, ready to move on?
8 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So to give you an idea, in the old days, Dr. Rick Gregg, who's now passed away,
Bridge over now.
unfortunately, who used to be at the University of
Ready for
Hawaii.
another ship move?
I
Same
did
as
a
last.
couple dives
30
with him, and he was, of course,
310 degrees,
very
decimal 2
into
knots.
the precious
30
coral
meters,
fishery.
10.2, stand by.
And we would pass by some colonies of gold coral on the bottom in these surveys, and he'd basically point out that's a $25,000 tree.
Oh, wow.
It's a $15,000 tree.
Yep.
So back in the day, it used to be really lucrative, I
lucrative
suppose,
business,
to
yeah.
harvest these things.
Is that just a shadow down in there?
This black thing right
Yeah,
in the
I know
middle?
it's an anemone, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it looks like it is.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Okay.
So I'll be moving in probably 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
Does the current feel like it's picked up at all, or about the same?
No, it's about the same.
Okay.
Okay, now we have some
Pretty soon, I guess we can turn north
another
right
little
now.
Yeah, that's my next
outcrop.
move is going to
Oh,
be
this one's a little bit bigger.
3, 4, 5.
This one is suggestive of layering.
Ooh, there's a big lyrate
Yeah, that's a large one.
coral in the back. Any interest in getting a closer look at this coral, or should we just move on?
We got enough leash to do that? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but not to move on much.
No.
I would suggest we move on. I mean, we've
Okay.
got video from this dive, and we have video of these things from any other dives as
It's
well.
the white
but
thing on the rock.
if there's interest in the chat room and looking at it, I'm fine with that.
Is it? Maybe. Yeah, we're watch lead. We're waiting for Sirius to start moving.
Okay,
There's
so
something
we're-
here, maybe a holotherian.
Maybe. We're waiting for the
Yeah,
Sirius to
you're pulling me. It's okay, but
Okay.
it might also affect you.
catch up.
Yeah, let's see.
Things will feel a little awkward. I'll
It's
come
like
down
a delicate
also.
dance that we do. We have the ship, obviously, on the surface.
Thank goodness.
1,934 meters above us. And then we have Sirius, which is about 20 meters above the deep discover. Oh, sorry. What's that?
30 meters.
Oh, you got, okay, about 30
Yeah.
meters of
Oh,
tether
it
out.
does look like a holothurian. I like the holothurians.
Yeah, let me try and come to a stop on it.
Okay. Thank you, Don.
You're welcome.
We haven't seen too many holothurians
No.
today, have we?
Nope, we haven't. And I do really like them.
I know
we
you
saw
do.
one early in the dive.
We did.
That was...
It was very nice. It had kind of like fluttering.
It did. Yeah,
It's gonna
prop
be hard
wash was
with the
moving
tether.
across
Yeah, they were
the
saying
back
that it
of
was.
it.
Yeah,
So it's pulling
I
me
know.
around there, sort of.
Definitely, yeah, it's pulling me too.
Oh, well, either
Okay.
it was prop wash
Or
or
a
it was...
current.
I bet within 3 or
a
4
reaction.
minutes it'll start going away. So.
I'm scared. Nope.
Yeah, it's like run away.
Do that again? No, I don't think so. Okay, this guy has a pink head. Pinky
Diva
purple.
Aman, who was the biology science lead
I'll
on
take the
Leg
camera
1,
from
says
so
this
far
is
because I need to keep into this.
Hansenthuria.
Holothurian.
Sounds
Okay,
like it was
that's
named
good.
after someone named Hansen.
I think that must be it. Okay, see what?
Yeah, hold on for some. Yeah, okay. I got it now. Tilt. There we go. And I'll turn just a little bit.
Perfect.
Well, you can see its gut loaded with sediment. Hansenothoria, sorry. These are feeding on the bottom,
Yalls.
trying to get some nutritional value out of the sediment that they're
Got your camera
ingesting.
back.
There's
Okay,
not
thank
much on these rocks. You
I think
notice?
I'm
I'm
just
Most of the
starting to come
sediment has
closer.
probably
Okay.
been blown off by the strong currents that are wafting across this
But I wouldn't go too far.
almost
away
summit
from it.
and collecting in channels like the one just beyond the holothurian.
Bob Carney from LSU says that this is a synallactid. It's, let me think here. Ventrum is white, tentacle crown is purple and pink, and its body, yes, it is gelatinous.
It is indeed.
I think the air pressure is falling. My ears have been popping. Is that the cyclone coming?
Carl, is that you saying that?
I'll go up on bridge after and see how much it's fallen in the past couple hours.
You're kidding, right, Carl?
No, I'm not kidding.
You're not kidding?
Maybe you're just holding your breath while I'm driving.
You can't.
Cyclone has a name, I
Sorry,
think.
Don't
folks
break
out there,
my
you can't
vehicle.
hear the other conversations that are going on.
Well, you have to share.
I'm not saying the cyclone's
Wow.
coming
Flat
towards us,
pans
but the
of
barometer could still fall a little.
That's true.
It could.
manganese crust on these rocks.
Okay, I can start moving then a little
We were
bit here.
Talking earlier in
So
the dive,
the
Chris was
direction
giving us
to
a little
waypoint 2 is going to be
tutorial on
350.
how manganese
Which
crust
direction? Say again,
forms.
Matt?
350.
350.
That's
And it
gonna
can
the
be an
new
incredibly
direction.
complicated
Okay.
process.
Well, I think I've just started
I've just
moving
been
at 310
looking online
for
at
this
a
move.
variety
Yep.
of
So
articles about
350 is what I'm on right
how
now.
diverse and complicated the precipitation of manganese crust or the formation of manganese crust can be, depending on whether it is chemically forming or biologically mediated. And all of those processes depend on the environment in which it's forming. And if a biological process, it depends on what microbe or other
What was the heading you gave the ship for
type
this
of
last move? Was still
living
310? Okay,
entity is responsible.
Sirius
Can
will
be
kind of move
bacteria,
where you are.
fungi,
And then
algae,
you'll kind of move
Right.
even
350, and he'll
eukaryotes.
turn to see you, and then we'll keep chugging along.
chugging along on that direction.
Yep.
There's a really interesting coral that just went off center below the screen. And I think it's one of these Bathopathes or Schizopathes or something like that. I saw one earlier, too. He's now to the
Backing up.
right corner.
The right
Little
corner.
plume shoot. There he is, right below, right there in the center. And
I
since
see.
I don't think we've zoomed
I
in on
see.
this, since we've got a bunch of black coral folks on today, it'd be good to get a picture of it.
Did you see it?
I thought I saw something in the
Is
right
it leaning
center
over
right.
really far?
Boy, I sure can't
yeah.
see it.
It's a tiny
see
fish.
something.
Dead center, it's right where the lasers are.
Oh,
Okay, got it. Yep.
got
To the right,
Right.
now.
It
Yep.
looks
To
like
the
a
right?
fish.
It's to the
No,
right?
that's
It is
the
to
one.
the-
You wanna
yeah,
go
it's a
over to
white
the
whip.
right.
Oh, I see the white whip. I see
yeah,
the
I
white
see
whip.
one to the right. About
Yeah, it's to
4
the right of your
lasers to the right.
lasers.
It's a little
There.
fluffy ball. Yeah,
It's
right
gonna go
under
off
the
screen
lasers.
any second. There we go, right to the center. There. Right up. Right where the lasers work.
I see it. I can guide him there.
Okay, we're
It's
getting
right
there.
about-
We're getting there.
Yeah,
A little more right, and then you'll be there.
almost impossible to see it here
Keep
on the ship.
going to the right.
We've got
Wait,
it.
wait. They're behind you. They're behind
Yeah.
us. So,
The shore side's got a 10-second
Okay.
delay. So.
yeah, shore side has a 10-second delay, so.
All right.
Well, Chris is in an
Right.
ECC, so he has
So
less
where
of a
is it
delay
now?
than
I'm not
most
sure I
people.
see what they're
Center
looking
down
at.
below.
Right
If you can see
center.
it now.
Yep. Lasers
And-
are on it.
Okay.
Yeah, they got it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Really
you got it.
thin.
That's it, right
Okay.
where the lasers
Oh,
are.
I saw
All right.
that.
Stand by. I'm trying to move in
That
on it.
teensy, teensy,
How did he
tiny.
see that?
Where?
No.
I see it. It's
I see a
above the
star.
lasers. It's above the lasers right now.
Oh, my goodness.
Really? Wow. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm saying that. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm looking at it too.
Yep.
It's over to the left on.
The
Right,
lasers
yeah, you're
are
right.
just
Yeah, yeah,
above the
lasers are-
stalk. Just
There you go.
above the where the stalk comes out of the sediment. There you go.
I can barely even see it from here
Got a
now.
bead on it
Right.
now.
Yes, we're saying here we can barely see it from this room.
Boy, we really can barely see it. Well, the top of it looks like the
Okay.
texture of the rocks around it. So it's very hard to see.
Zoom in a little more, about halfway. Let's see.
There you
Oh
go.
my gosh.
That is pretty.
Well, you eagle eyes on shore are
man.
amazing.
You guys get better screens than we do.
Way to go. I'll have you in the video chair any day.
Well, Chris is very well experienced.
All right, what do we think this is? Umbellapathes. Oh, wait. I think that's what he means. He didn't say-
Umbellapathes.
Well, I know, but I think he left out an
Yeah,
A.
I think the A's in the wrong spot. I do that all the time.
Umbellapathes.
Yeah.
Yep. Umbellapathes.
And Chris
So good
agrees
for
with you, Scott.
Video's clear whenever.
Yeah, the question is whether Tina Molitsova would agree with Scott or I. That's
Okay.
the,
Fortunately for you,
No,
she
the
is
tiebreaker.
gone to bed. It's like
Oh, it
Very
must be.
late.
Yeah. What?
very late in Moscow.
2:30 in the morning? 3:30 in the morning?
I don't know. Probably.
Oh, it has to be 3:30. This is Greenwich. This is
This is Greenwich.
Universal Time. So Moscow's
This is
east
UTC.
of there.
Right.
So the
You're
sun
Okay,
is
so
well
we're
I
done
gone.
here.
think that's enough.
That's good?
I think they've got enough for an 80. So.
Yep, we're good.
Yep.
Okay.
Video's clear.
Thank you.
All right, moving on.
Okay, pilots. I think it's something like 355.
Too many things in my
355,
head.
copy.
My glasses
Okay.
are twisted
And
around.
how long ago did the ship stop?
Stopped at 216.
We have a we have
Okay.
a little over an hour.
5:22.
So we
Thank
could
you,
probably,
Roland. No
I think
wonder
if you
she's
just
in
drive
bed.
ahead, pilot, I can turn that way.
Okay.
Kind
What
of
time did you say it was, Roland?
on the,
5:22.
on
In
the
the
heading
morning?
you're on now. I'll
Oh my
corral
gosh.
you over.
Okay.
For Tina.
All
She
right, I'm
must
on
have been up until
330 now.
3:30.
I know.
When did she
Hey.
leave?
We have participants from all over the world. We were just remarking about Tina Molitsova from the P.P. Shirshov Institute in Moscow and how it's 5:20 a.m. where she is. And I think she only said goodnight to us about maybe at the most 2 hours ago.
Tells you how fascinating this work really is.
Asaka Matsumoto is joining us
Oh,
from
look at this.
Japan. What is that?
Fluffiness. It's a fluffiness.
Fluffiness on a rock. Okay.
Something you're interested
Just to
in?
give you a heads up, Don, we're looking at that fluffiness on the
That is
rock.
Right in the center, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's probably what we have seen before. Because there's not a lot of diversity up here, is there?
So the Chrysogorgiids that we've seen, there have been some, I think they've seen a lot of different golden corals and a lot of different bamboo corals as well. To the untrained observer, they might look the same.
She's being kind to me. You mean the ignoramus. I do not know corals.
Okay, video, you want to zoom in? Carl, can you take my camera, please?
Sure.
Zoom in. Okay.
I'll come to port.
Perfect.
I don't think we're stable yet. Hold
Wow, very thick.
on. Okay.
get a look at the base.
You ready for me to tilt down video?
Yes, Scott's asking where all the Metallogorgia are today.
base.
We
Indeed,
saw
we were in,
so
Oh, you got the base?
many of them.
yeah,
Yep, I
Okay.
got it for a minute.
we were in gardens of them
This
the
is
other
probably-
day.
Right.
Clear. All right, good to go.
Yes, and a
They're on
small
the
recruit.
they're on the footwall block, Scott.
Okay. Science done with this one?
We are, thank you.
Okay, I'll tilt you up
All right,
and
thank
give
you.
it back.
All right, thanks.
There you go.
All right.
So you're still pretty far out there. I would maybe just come to starboard and drive across my screen,
Okay.
and I'll turn to starboard to get to 355. It was 355 right now?
355.
That is correct.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Okay. So yeah, that's pretty good. I'll just start turning if you drive ahead.
You ready for me to call it in? Take 5 minutes to.
Feeling good, pilot?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my camera's at 40 degrees and he's out there. I think we're good.
Excellent.
So my heading's set to 355 now.
Okay.
Okay, looks
Bridge,
like
ROV
we've got
nav.
another Walteria.
Go ahead, ROV.
Wait, let me,
We're ready
before
for
I
a ship
say
move.
that.
30 meters.
looks like another
bearing
Walteria
355
coming up.
degrees, decimal 2 knots.
All right, so I've got 30 meters bearing 355.2. Stand by.
Whoa, big rock.
Yeah,
So
we're
we'll-
sitting right on top of it.
RV nav move has been initiated.
There's a fairly big rock up ahead, too.
Tara
That's a
on the
shadow.
roof said,
Yeah, I see it.
while she doesn't think that's what these are, they actually rocks.
Good copy, Bridge.
The
Maybe
mounds of
try
the rock
to find
remind her of
something
stromatolites.
left or right or
They
around
do.
you to look at before you, because if you go much
Yeah.
further ahead, you're going to
Okay.
start pulling. It's a delicate balance.
It is. Oops. Not so delicate. What was that? We just.
Sort of.
Is this of any interest here?
We could do a snap zoom if you want.
Okay.
I think it's.
Something dead?
Yeah, I think it might be a dead or dying hexactinellid sponge, but I could be wrong. It's stalked, that's for sure. Oh,
Zoom
okay,
in.
but Asako's thinking tunicate. That was my other guess. That was my other
wow.
guess,
This
but
might do hickey. Wow. Huh.
Okay, taking a bit more soon.
Shirley, there is something to the right on the top of that rock. Excuse me, to the left. The right side of the.
yeah, a little
Left
tiny.
rock.
Yeah, tiny, tiny. I'm thinking sponge.
Okay.
I don't know. Tunicate. Okay. Tara and Asako both think this is tunicate.
Yeah, and Tara also saw that one I saw to the lower left.
Yeah, there is something down there to the lower left. I
Just
think.
down there.
Okay.
You want me to try and twist on this and look at it from the
Yeah.
side?
Sure. Try. Sure, that'd be good.
That'd be good.
I was afraid of that.
Uh-oh.
Well, you shouldn't have suggested it then.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
So it's just under that
little
shelf.
white thing, the little tiny white branch. That's what you're talking
No.
about. Okay, I must be missing.
No,
one.
left. You see where the light-colored material is sitting on the rock, and then just
yeah.
in there something circular.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's what Tara might have meant.
Yeah, I think it is.
You're going to be looking at it
Should
like
look
this.
on the side. It would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, video, you want to zoom in?
Of course.
Ah, nice side view.
So is this a tunicate that's growing on a stalk that was made by something else?
I'm going to take a full zoom. It's
Harvey Nav Bridge, I am going to bring us about 10 degrees support to kind of square this away.
Copy that, Bridge.
Want me to
Thanks
try
for
and
letting us know.
rotate a
Yeah,
little bit
I'll
while you're
wait till the
zoomed
end of the
in?
room. We got about 10 meters left, and I'll bring us support.
Can you confirm center of rotation is the A-frame?
That is correct. Center rotation is the
Yeah,
A-frame.
looks-
I will not change
this
that.
looks
I'll
very
just bring
strange to
it
me.
forward slowly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bridge.
There seems to be consensus among our shore-based science team that this is a tunicate, but it's very strange.
okay. Well, videos.
And it has one of those
clear.
little white branched things that we saw on the dead sponges on the side of it.
Yeah, yes, it does. Sure does. Okay, we are making a change in our ROV crew right now, so just stand by for a couple secs.
Yep.
This is a good time for us to remind everyone who we are, what we're doing, where we are. We are on the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer, America's ship for ocean exploration.
Right.
And we are exploring areas of the Marianas Trench National Monument, and this expedition is part of a 3-year campaign, and the campaign is called Capstone, the campaign to address the Pacific Monument science, technology, and ocean needs. So, in fact, the reason we're diving on this place today, which is called Fryer, as in Patty Fryer, Geo, silent T,
Thank you.
is because it's an area that's been identified as one that could potentially be mined for manganese and other precious metals.
For manganese crust, which
Manganese
contains
crust,
lots of different
these
metals and other elements that are important
rare
for technology.
Very
rare.
This mission was designed and supported by NOAA's Office of Ocean Exploration and Research, or OER. The ship is operated by NOAA's Office of Marine and Aviation Operations. The other NOAA partners are the National Marine Fisheries Service, the Marine National Monuments Program, and the Deep Sea Coral Research and Technology Program. Another NOAA partner is the National Center for Environmental Information, and that partnership makes it possible for us to make the data and images we're collecting right now publicly available within 2 to 3 months after they're collected. This is really fast for the data to be made available to the public. A typical timeline is closer to 2 or 3 years.
Oh, what is going on here? There we go.
And another way that this mission operates is through telepresence enabled ocean exploration. So unlike many of the missions that Patty and I, and indeed our colleagues back on shore, are used to going on, where you have a team of scientists on board the ship, focused on a few scientific questions that you're addressing, and for which the expedition's been financed by either a federal funding agency like NOAA or NSF, or private foundations.
Or even NASA.
Or even NASA, yes, even NASA. USGS, EPA.
Great.
I can only assume that
This is quite different because we're focused entirely on exploring, and the places we've identified to explore were selected based on science and management community input. And so we're doing this on behalf of the entire science and resource management community, not just a couple of scientists.
Oh, I know what's going on. Okay, so
and
the
that's
ship
what
move is finished.
telepresence technology makes it possible for all of you who are
Coming out of 45.
exploring
Carl
with
just
us at
told me out
home
of 45
possible to
seconds ago.
see and
Okay.
hear what we're doing in near real
Seems
time,
about
just
right.
a few seconds delay.
The ship is
We're-
changing
we understand
heading,
there are
which is why
about
it's about the-
30
should
to
be
37,000
it's about the
A-frame.
A-frame,
people
but the center
visiting
position, I'm
us
looking at the
every
center.
day.
Oh, gotcha,
Of course, not
gotcha.
all at the same time, and
Right. And not for lengthy
So we should
periods
be
not for lengthy
stationary.
periods of
necessarily.
time.
Actually,
But-
that should have
But we
You're joining
enjoy
us.
you all.
Few minutes
Yep.
ago.
So thanks for following on in this quest to explore new areas, see things that we've never seen before, document behaviors that have never been documented before.
Some intros soon.
We've actually been able to document through video imagery
So,
some
co-pilot,
fish and
Yep.
invertebrates that have never been
since I'm not
seen
gonna be here
alive
at
before.
recovery,
They've only
we are
been
not
seen when
operating
they've
the
been
shilling.
collected
We are not
by
operating the shilling.
trawls and dredges, for
Um,
example.
You can I
And,
was told
and
that
we should
the
let you
shoulder
know,
is
most of the
swinging outboard a
research
bit.
in
So they have
marine
the
science
port wing
that is
slightly
funded
inboard.
by
Yeah, I was
federal
told it was sagging just a
agencies is
little bit.
based on
But we are not
proposals that are
gonna
submitted by
operate the
someone
shilling.
like
Okay, I'll
Shirley
just
or
leave
me.
it slightly inboard like that. I
And
mean, it doesn't seem like
these
a
have
hard
to
thing.
be
Sounds good.
hypothesis driven.
And
In other
for
words,
the
we have to
past
kind
few
of
days,
know
we've been
what
warming
we
up the
expect to
hydraulic
get
oil,
out of the work
for
that
the
we're
last few hundred
proposing.
meters of ascent,
And these are vetted
which
by
I
our
think makes
colleagues.
the
And
swing arm
if
stay
we
put.
can't
Should we continue that?
propose an
think-
experiment
yeah,
or
I
a
think it's
hypothesis
fine.
that is well founded in previous knowledge, it's very difficult to get funded.
All right,
and,
Annie.
and so
You
the
settled
kind
in?
of work that we're doing
Good?
out
All
here
right.
on the ship
Yep, I'm good to
during
go.
these
Cool.
missions provides that basis of understanding for all of the marine science community to expand their
We can
knowledge
do a snap zoom on this
by being able to
just for practice.
propose work in
So
the
here,
future
otherwise, hold
that
there.
can be based on many of the discoveries that are made
Right, the
by
observations.
by the Okeanos
Right.
Explorer.
In fact, the scientific method begins with observation.
Absolutely, it
It
does.
begins with observation. We see
this
things,
is the first step.
And,
to have a
and that's how we
second
generate
animal living in it down
hypotheses, the questions that we want to ask, the
spot lobster.
hypotheses that
Yeah.
we want to test. So this is all part of that scientific method that I teach our third graders every year
Oh,
back
yeah.
in Fort Pierce.
It's a lot more fun going to preschools and
Okay,
making
zoom out.
presentations because the questions are incredibly piercing. It's really fun.
It's a humbling experience.
And
Okay,
here is
Just let me know
so
if you'd like me
big
to follow
boulder.
you around.
Right.
So we're just
So
heading basically
while
due
we
north,
were
right?
waiting,
Yeah.
while we
Yes.
were
Do you
exchanging,
want your
oh,
sonar
sorry.
considerably
Stand by.
closer with all these big rocks? Or?
No, it's fine. I mean, we can see over them pretty easily.
That's a cool rock now.
We'll just have to be careful, like, about the tether with this current, not hitting any other rocks. So I'd come up a couple
While we were
meters.
Stop
changing
that.
out the ROV crew, Scott and
I'm gonna make sure I
Asako
have it in
went and
here
looked
as
up
well.
that
Or
very
basically just moving
weird
due north. I guess it looks like
tunicate.
that, yeah.
It's called
Okay.
Cooliolis.
All right, watch leads. We're all settled in. Is there anything in
Yeah,
particular we're
we
looking
would
for?
like you to introduce yourselves.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah, so we just had a shift change, and now we have Dave as our navigator. I'm Dan as your pilot, and we've got Andy as your co-pilot. And Annie over in the corner operating the camera. Doing a great job so far. And, of course, in the back, we've got Roland doing our video clipping. And we're all with the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration. And happy to be here with you.
We're happy to have you. I'm Shirley Pomponi. I'm one of two science leads on board the ship. I'm from Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute, Florida Atlantic University, and the NOAA Cooperative Institute for Ocean Exploration Research and Technology, and I am joined
And
by...
I am Patty Fryer. I'm your geology lead,
about,
and I'm from the
45
University
more
of
minutes.
Hawaii.
Headed off my
And
port
am
side here.
part
You want me
of
to follow
the
you there?
Hawaii Institute of
Yeah, you
Geophysics
can
and
turn over a bit.
Planetology, and
We're not
I'm
moving
a
in.
research
So
professor
we have an
in
hour
that
to get to-
institution.
100 meters.
Patty's
Is it
done
100 meters?
decades
45
of
minutes,
research
and it's 80
There's no way
meters.
that's-
in the Marianas
Okay,
area
85,
and in the
okay.
trench.
True.
And in fact,
That's,
in
an
recognition
average
of all that work that she's
You
done,
might be pulling me right now.
this
Okay.
geo
Let me just check
on which
the
we are
math
diving
on time
today
on
is
bottom.
named Fryer Geo.
It is.
1630.
It embarrasses her every time we say
Yep,
this.
that looks
But
right.
no, it's very cool.
But,
It's
Oh,
very
thank you,
good.
Shirley. That's sweet.
We're very proud to have you here.
We are very proud to
Thank you,
have her
Roland.
here. This is very cool.
Oh, man, quite a bit of current today.
Yeah, there's a really strong current, folks. You can see particulate matter in the water column just zooming across from the right to the
Yeah,
left.
you may well not
So
be
it makes it
pulling me,
difficult
actually.
for the
It's tethered.
pilots to, maneuver if we ask them to do something tricky.
Do we come back to center screen?
Right,
Come down,
or if
back
we've
down
already
to
passed
tether.
over,
Could you-
like passed
Did we
over
ever find out
something
what
to
was
kind of
on
like
compass
back
earlier?
up,
Yep.
I know on long
stabilize
trips, yeah.
yourself, and then
No,
zoom in is
I
kind of
mean, it
difficult
might have-
to do.
I'm not
It's
sure
a-
what it was.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
Sirius
it's a-
was angled
The really
right when it hit the water,
beautiful
but then it straightened out.
imagery
so.
that you're seeing comes from a high-definition camera that's mounted right in the center of the
Not
front
running long enough on deck
of the remotely operated vehicle
to-
D2 that's
calibration
operated
there.
by
I
this
don't know.
group. And
All right,
what
so
the pilots do
I'm gonna keep
is they'll
coming
settle
over.
down on the seafloor
Come center up on
and
Do
maneuver
60, yeah.
Tab that.
the ROV so
And I'll
that
come down.
whatever feature we want to look
We
at
are
is right in the center
85
of view,
meters
and
from
then
our
the
dive at
videographer
waypoint.
can
Okay.
operate
We
the
have-
zoom on that camera.
Let's just dial on a move then. Just get
Yep,
moving.
I'll get
Looks
one in
like
shortly. We have 43 minutes left on the bottom, and we can easily make it to that waypoint. We're just about to
Okay, so we're about 85
But,
meters from our
We may want more
end
samples.
waypoint,
yeah.
and we have about
So I'm going to call in 30 meters.
40 minutes left
Please.
on
Something
our
like
dive.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
40 or
whatever you
50
want.
minutes
I
left
don't
on
know,
the
I think-
dive. Our navigator says we can easily make that.
Why don't we just go ahead and call in a 50-meter 0.1 move, and then we can stop the ship if we need to.
Okay.
There's an interesting view
360
on
good for
the
you?
Yep.
middle
Stop right
screen,
next to me.
or middle feed
At
of
decimal 1.
your computer screen
Great, I'll call that.
of the D2
Bridge, ROV
remotely
nav.
operated
Go ahead,
vehicle
ROV.
on the
Do we have a ship
seafloor,
move?
and the
50
picture is taken
meters,
from the
bearing
Sirius
000
vehicle, which is up
at
above it
decimal
on the
1
30
knots.
meter cable. And right
All right,
now
I'm gonna
we're
repeat that back to
sitting
you. I've
on
got
the
50
tip
meters bearing
of this
000
large
decimal 1. Is that correct?
elongated block
Good copy,
that
thank you.
is
I stand by.
just massively covered with a crust of manganese
zoom in.
oxide, and we are looking at a
And hold there.
beautiful coral.
I mean, that bridge position move has been
There
initiated.
are
50 meters
two
bearing
different
000
kinds of
decimal 1.
pulse on this.
Thank you,
Go ahead and
Bridge.
zoom in.
And what does that tell us?
That tells us that there are two
Hold.
different kinds of coral. What's the deal?
Okay, that move will take
Okay,
16
so
minutes.
Okay.
how many little tentacles are on that other one? TMTC, too many to count.
Yeah, there
More
are
than
lots.
8.
Zoom in.
There are a lot, certainly more than 8.
More than 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a zoanthid, which is an anemone-like
Shot.
Right.
I like those polyps.
animal.
And we have a little amphipod,
On
a
a-
red amphipod in the back. A
Is it?
commensal beastie.
Is it an I couldn't tell.
Uh,
You know what?
it's
I
a
This
little
is
red-
two different corals here.
That's
yeah,
what,
yep,
yep.
there are zoanthids, so
Mhm.
kind of a colonial anemone-like organism, and it's on another
Let's
coral, a
see.
primnoid.
Looks like
Let's see if it has it taken over one of the arms of the coral,
jeez. Come out real quick.
or a
These
couple of
These
them.
zoanthids in general are very common at overgrowing other invertebrates like these corals and also sponges.
Right.
And if you look closely at them, you notice that they seem much rougher on
Yep.
the polyp body wall. It's very bumpy. And they
Okay, go
are
ahead.
able to incorporate into the body wall sand grains and spicules
Oh,
and
yeah,
sclerites and so on. So, yeah, I'll just copy that.
What's
Common,
none of it's
common
wrong. I
parasites,
imagine
some
it's
are
even more
specialized, some
difficult to get a
species are
steady
specialized
shot
for
without sitting down in
growing
the
on
spring.
certain types of invertebrates like
it's-
sponges, corals, and so on.
I mean, I am set
Thanks,
down. and I'm
Scott.
still
Oh,
at
that's,
pressure.
yeah, oh, that's
Yeah,
really,
my-
yeah,
see my
so I
left
can
toe?
imagine how
Yes,
that
it's
might be
just
really
sliding along the
difficult
rock
for an
there.
expert to figure out if
Can you
the
zoom out again? Sorry.
if that zoanthid has
real strong
foreign
curve today.
Should they come all the way up?
sclerites. And I didn't realize it could do that. So, it'll be interesting to see because there are lots
Are you
of
seeing it at a 45 roughly as well?
sponges on
Yeah,
which we
might
find
help it a little more
zoanthids as
easily.
well. And,
Okay.
and Scott, you indicated that they
The
Yeah,
surface
can
it's
variety
sometimes
is due
incorporate the
east to west.
spicules
I
into
can look at
into their skeletons as well.
ADCP
Very cool.
and see if
I
it looks
did not
like it
know that.
continues to the bottom.
That's probably about the
It'll
10th
turn a
new
bit
thing I've learned today.
on the way down there.
It should.